Hey guys, so just keeping to what I said last blog, we're going to actually do a little series here of sight reading, and I hope you got something out of that last post, and if not, then again, just give me any questions that you might have. But to follow back up on what we did cover, basically just trying to get the notes of the staff under our belts, being able to recall those pretty much at sight. So as soon as you actually look at a note, being able to call them, at least in your head, whether you can find it on the guitar or not, that's a whole nother thing, and that's actually what we're going to try to go over today. We didn't talk about below the staff, and I've actually posted one little thing here to kind of just the whole scheme of things, I think down to C, from the bottom ledger line to the top ledger line. So that'll kind of cover the whole gambit of what we're actually going to be using, even though we actually go down all the way to that E on the low E on the ledger line on the treble clef, and then of course going all the way up there to the top ledger line. But that's kind of impractical for a lot of songs that we typically think of when we're actually sight reading stuff. But anyway, again, I got just an exercise here for us. It's 3 staves, all on the treble clef, just kind of going random, some notes. It's actually going up the scale, starting from a D, going up to a D, and then going from an F to an F, and then what we got here, a G to a G. So we're just looking at that scales there. But the most important thing that I want to go over today is actually the placement, where we're actually going to play this stuff. Now, a lot of people will actually, and a lot of books will actually have you start up top and just do the C major scale there. So out of that scale, you will actually pull your notes out of it, whether it's a C, F, G, you'll actually just kind of come out of that scale up top. The only problem you have with that as far as advancement is that when you get to the point of sharps and flats, key of G, key of D, key of A, so forth, you have to start thinking a little bit more outside of the box. So you have to start thinking about sharps and flats and where you're actually going to do your fingering and such. Well, it's a lot easier if we place that scale somewhere else that gives us a little bit more up and down freedom than, say, if you need to play, I guess a B flat. Well, then instead of having to jump out of that C major scale going down here, it'd been nice just to kind of throw it up top here. But we can't do that because of the nut. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to show you a placement where I want you to actually start practicing some of this sight reading stuff and get familiar with the notes underneath your finger. Where it's actually going to be is we're staying in the key of C, but we're going to come out of that G pattern right there. And the actual scale I've got papered out there, posted on the blog also, so feel free to print it out and just run through it to get it under your fingers. But again, just starting off with that G pattern there, and if you're not familiar with the G pattern, actually I think one of the first blog posts I did actually goes over that, so you can review that and pick up from there to here. To run through that scale, so we got the C scale here, but we're actually starting on that A note here. So we're going A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So there you go. It's kind of a 2-octave scale there. So we're going from C to C, from C to C. So there you go, from C to C. I didn't even think about that. Anyway, so when we're actually looking at our staff here, let's look at that first staff we have where they're starting on the D note, which is the bottom right there below the E on the treble clef. That D is actually going to be right here on your A string on the 5th fret. So as far as matching up the audio to what it's actually visually telling you to play, that's the D that you want to play. When it comes time to the C, let's look at it, F-A-C, so we're looking at the 3rd space from the bottom going up, so it would be the 2nd space from the top. That is your C right there. So that's actually going to be on the G string right here and on the 5th fret there. So there's your C. So to kind of get some matchup on where we're at when we're actually playing this stuff. So to kind of play through that first line, we're going to start on the D. Then we're actually going to go to the E, F, G, A, B, C, back to the D, with the octave of the D. So we just played that one octave there. No, this is not a D scale because we're still in the key of C, so it's actually modal. We won't get into that right now. So again, just to kind of visually look at the paper and the readout I did, I actually did the C major scale for the whole length all the way down towards the 15th fret, but then cherry picked that middle portion of the scale to kind of give us our home scale. Again, one of the reasons why is because let's say we want to go to a C sharp. Well, that's a bad example. Let's go to that B flat. So we got, there's the B, but I don't want to flat it. I can go straight back. I can't do that up here. C, B, I can't flat it any further, so I actually have to go up there to that note anyway. So it gives us a little bit more freedom, like I said, when it comes to sight reading, and just knowing that our hands right there in the middle of the neck, we can move up, we can move down, freedom. So there you go. So just actually play through some of these examples and get used to these notes underneath our fingers and being able to translate what we see from sight, travel down to our hands and start matching them up with the guitar. And we'll try to have a little piece of music for us next time to actually work through, and we'll kind of see how that goes and a little something to kind of keep you going. Bad thing about it is you don't want to be playing the same piece of music over and over again. You will get to the point of where memorization starts happening by default, so you're not really actually sight reading. So a couple of things that you can do, even with this piece of music that we have here with the 3 stabs, read it forward, but then you can read it backwards also. So we don't have to read it like we actually do a book, just starting from the top paragraph and reading on down. We can actually read that first line, we can jump down, we can read the other line backwards, we can go down and read that line forward. So we can just kind of mix it up any way that we want to go to kind of keep the piece of music fresh. Now this is an example, not really a piece of music as we say, but you can always take any sight reading piece of music that you have, Ode to Joy, anything. Don't just read it for what it is. If it's the only piece of music you can get your hands on, then go backwards on it too. Same thing. Keeps your eyes sharp and keeps things kind of fresh for you that you are actually sight reading the music. So, all right. Well, like I said, any questions on anything, just let me know. If something wasn't quite clear, then I'll try to clear that up for us. But other than that, we'll see you next week, and we'll have a piece of music we'll start working on. Okay? Good deal. Thank you.